Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of On the Mark. I'm your host, Mark Brantley, and I am absolutely delighted to be back here with you. I have been absent for the last 3 weeks, the longest period that I've ever been off the show. I ask your forgiveness, but I'm told that the Honorable Eric Evelyn, who deputized in my absence, both as Premier and as the host of the show, that he did an excellent job. And so I thank him for his assistance, and thank you for persevering with us and for being here once again on the Eastern Caribbean's only powerhouse, VON Radio, the voice of Nevis. Thank you to all the people here in Nevis, those in St. Kitts, those in the Caribbean, those in North America, Latin America, UK, wherever you are. Good evening to you. Welcome to this edition of On the Mark, and I feel very good to be back in the saddle, so to speak, and to be back here with you. You know that over the last 20 years I've spent my Wednesdays here, and I don't like to be away from this show. So, thank you for persevering. Thank you for being here. I hope you're tuned in. Tell a friend to tell a friend, as they say now. Share the live and ensure that we have as many people as possible. We have a packed show tonight. We have a lot to discuss, and I start at the outset with the one and only Keith This and That Scarborough, King This and That, as he prefers to be referred to, MBE, who is here, and he comes each year to release his song for Culturama. Culturama is indeed heating up. I attended the launch of the Culturama with the Honorable Eric Evelyn and his team, and I believe that there is excellent support. There's tremendous excitement in the air, and of course there can't be Culturama without Calypso, and the Calypsonians are getting ready. Some are already ready, and they're putting out their music so that we who enjoy it each year have an opportunity to enjoy. Of course, we're inviting everyone to come down for Culturama, those in St. Kitts, those in Anguilla and St. Martin and the USVI, those of you who are in the BVI, those in North America, those of you in the UK, Canada. We're asking you to come home for Culturama, just as you did last year in your numbers for our C50 and Grand Family Reunion. We're asking you as well to come home and be a part of Culturama 51. It runs from the end of July, I think it's July 24th, until August 8th, and you are entirely invited to come and enjoy. Nevis is yours. Come and enjoy it and be a part of the summer's greatest line. The Caribbean's greatest summer line is Culturama, and it comes alive at Culturama 51. Part of that is our Calypso, and there can be no greater maestro of Calypso than King This and That, who has been with Culturama from its inception. I believe he has performed and competed at every Culturama except one, except two, he says, and so he has been competing for 49 years. He looks like he's not much more than 49, so he must have started very, very young, but he would have competed, and I think that in and of itself is a demonstration of the commitment. Win, lose, draw, cheat, no cheat, King This and That has always been there at Culturama, and I think that we owe him a debt of gratitude for his perseverance, his longevity, and the fact that he has committed his life to this cultural art form and has been part of every Culturama except two. 49 Culturama. 50, he says. All right? So 50 Culturamas he has been a part of. And so we say thank you to him. He's here with us tonight. King, I hand it over to you. It's a tradition each year. You've afforded me the privilege of sharing your song. Most people get a first listen here and On the Mark. And so I turn things over to you so you could tell us a bit about your own journey and tell us a bit about the song that you are airing tonight for a first glimpse, a first view, a first listen of your competition tune for Culturama 51.
Thank you, Mark, and good evening to all our listeners, and good evening to you as well. And let me thank you up front for giving me the opportunity to release on your tightly packed show this evening, because I know you're tightly packed, so I want to thank you very much for that opportunity. As usual, some people say that I am early, but I always release the last Wednesday of May every year. Nothing has changed, but the second tune I always release after Music Festival. So I'm not early, it's the normal time. This year, of course, I'm celebrating my 50th anniversary. It's been 50 years straight for Culturama here in Nevis, and something I enjoy doing. And so I am happy to be releasing this song this evening. As you know, Mark, the Calypso is getting a beating right across the region, and so this song speaks to that. And as usual, all my songs speaks for itself. So once you listen to the lyrics, you'll get the message straight and clear. So I don't have to explain too much. So let's give this song a listen. It is called...
Are we ready? Okay, I think we're queued up. All right. So this is King This and That doing a competition piece for Culturama 51.
Brown in Antigua, up the balling murder, because the Calypso standard gone. No more shot or swallow, ups in net or zero, nobody left to carry on. It's the same thing go happen in Nevis. If we continue to judge Calypso like this, Calypso is suffering, yet you undermining the very standard. We need to go upward. All you think it's easy, competing yearly in front of people who don't know one damn thing about Calypso. If I didn't love this here art form, many years ago I would have gone. Hear me now. Give the Calypso a chance to breathe, because only so it would succeed. Look again, soca rising high. Why you want to see Calypso die? It's the heartthrob of the festival, and without it there's no bacchanal. Everybody look forward each year, and it's Calypso they want to hear. If we continue to push Calypso on the ground, we will be balling just like Gaston Brown. Where he balling? Calypso gone, Calypso gone, Calypso gone, Calypso gone. 50 years ago, my friend, I took up paper and pen and started to write good Calypso. So it hurt my heart to see that it dying slowly, for reasons I really don't know. A good Calypso with a good story, mixed with lyrics and sweet melody, just be so enlightening and so entertaining. All around the country, it does vibrate nicely. It is such a privilege to sing you the message with rhythm and music, supporting the topic. Nothing in the world sweeter than that, my friend. That is why I sing again and again. Hear me now. Give the Calypso a chance to breathe, because only so it would succeed. Look again, soca rising high. Why you want to see Calypso die? It's the heartthrob of the festival, and without it there's no bacchanal. Everybody look forward each year, and it's Calypso they want to hear. If we continue to push Calypso on the ground, we will be balling just like Gaston Brown. Why he balling? Calypso gone, Calypso gone, Calypso gone, Calypso gone. Because of the bad treatment, many veterans absent. They just can't take it anymore. They say the judging system is so undermining. Competing is not like before. Some even try to convince me to walk away from the monarchy. But I tell them no, no, I ain't living just so. Calypso that make me the person that I be. So if it is dying, I got to do something. No kind of bad treatment, no mess with my talent. For in spite of everything I said, my friend, plenty Calypso still in my head. Hear me now.
Give the Calypso a chance to breed, because only so it would succeed. Look, reggae and soca rising high. Why you want to see Calypso die?
It's the heartthrob of the festival, and without it there's no bacchanal. Everybody look forward each year, and it's Calypso they want to hear. If we continue to push Calypso on the ground, we will be balling
Just like Gaston Brown.
What he balling?
Calypso gone, Calypso gone, Calypso gone, Calypso gone.
That is King This and That. King, the name of the song?
Calypso gone.
Calypso gone. He said, if we don't do something about it, we're balling like Gaston Brown. Calypso gone. I think King, a very powerful song. Really, I think, get into the heart of an issue. And I will tell you, as the Premier of Nevis, someone who is 100% committed to Culturama and preserving our cultural traditions, we are hearing more and more debates that when we stage Culturama, there are some who are saying Calypso, those kinds of art forms should take a back seat. I have been privy to some discussions, and particularly our younger generation are saying they want more fets, they want more jump up in the road. That is what they're looking for, because that is their entertainment. And the wit and the double entendre and the type of hard-hitting social commentary that we get from Calypso, there are many who are simply suggesting that that is past its prime. And frankly, it is not a unique situation to Nevis. I'm happy you use the reference of Gaston, and the song speaks to the greats in Antigua like Short Shirt and Swallow and Obstinate, because the reality is, and Zero, oh, I believe you're talking about our Zero? No, they have a Zero there, okay. Yeah. But our Zero also lives in Antigua, I believe.
Yes.
So they have two Zeros in Antigua. Both are great Calypsonians, of course. Zero from Brownhill was, I believe, our first Calypso king. But the point that I'm seeking to make is that we see around the region that the crowd attendance, the sort of respect, if you will, the public acclaim, that seems to be dwindling. And you also see correspondingly fewer and fewer youngsters getting involved as Calypsonians. People want to get involved as reggae artists. They want to rap. They want to do dancehall. They want to do soca, but few and few. And you see it even here, because the soca monarch, that seems to be growing. Youngsters are coming out in force, but you're not seeing as many. Now, one of my theories, I don't know if this is correct, and I don't mean any disrespect by saying it, but one of my theories is that Calypso is actually a harder art form.
Yep.
Soca, to me, you could just say, raise your flag, wave your flag. Once you got a good beat, you know, you have the crowd. But Calypso now, you know, people are looking for melody. They're looking for your rhyme. You're looking for, your lyrics. It's very important. So it's a different art form. Yep. And some may argue maybe more difficult. to sit down and write a tune. What are your thoughts on that?
Plus, the people don't want to listen anymore. They don't have time to listen anymore. That's why the soca is catching on, because it's simple. It's a 2-line or 3-line or 4-line and a beat.
Right.
So it's much more easier. It's almost like 2020 cricket, where people don't like test cricket so much now. They like the 2020 because it's going to finish in no time.
Right.
The soca is heading the same way. People are now gravitating to the soca, and it's more of a dramatic presentation in terms of the performance. Whereas the Calypso, you have to be listening the lyrical content.
Yes, I mean, Calypso giving you 3 or 4 verses.
Yes.
Right? So in terms of the writing, it's more difficult. Coming up with a topic, as I said, a lot of soca is really jump and wave. Yep. And if you have soca to me is more about the rhythm, the beat, than it is about necessarily the lyrics.
Yes.
Right? So I find it interesting. But what do you think? I mean, I know this is taking us away from the purpose for you being here, which is the launch, and I can't detain you for too long because I have a lot of ground to cover. But what do you think are some of the ideas that we can do? I mean, veterans like yourself, at one point in the song you say that some are encouraging you to quit, but you still have Calypso in your brain, you have more to give. But we all know that the younger folk have to come in. The development, sustainability is fueled by the young.
Yes.
So how do we pass on? Where do we find the next king descendant?
One of the mistakes we've been making, Mark, and I've been saying this for years, and people just can't see it, but we need to teach the young Calypsonians how to write. Because the problem you're having is that very few persons in Nevis write Calypso. It's only me, Bingy, Pupa Wheeler, who writes. The rest of them get the songs from somebody and sing it's Monkshot or someplace else. So you're not growing that way. You're not growing that way. For that sustainability you speak of in the Calypso art form has to come from the young ones who starting to write and do their own thing. It'll take them a little time before they get catch the strides, because I had to sing for 8 years before I win a crown. So it's going to take you a little time, but once you get your handle on that writing, then the world is in front of you. You're able to do your own composition, and you're able to go on for years and years and years. But if that writer stop right for you, you're out the competition. Or sometimes you have to take what you get from
I have a call that's in that I have to take. But before I take that call, I just wanted... it's a call for... Okay. So we'll take the call in a minute. Just ask the person to hold. I just wanted to just raise one thing before the thought leaves my mind. And that is, you said it took you 8 years. One of the things that I also realized, I said in that speech I gave recently that we live in an Instagram culture. Everybody wants things right away. And you hear young people come into the arena, sing, make finals once and say they cheat them and never come back.
Exactly.
And I think that too, that question of stick-to-itiveness, that's also important. You don't get to 50 years competing. And that is why I made the point that whether you win, lose, draw, cheat, no cheat, you're back the next year. Yeah. That shows the love for the art form. But let's take this call. I got it's a call for you. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Good evening, Mr. Brantley.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, okay. This is for Mr. King, this and that. I want to say good evening to the listeners.
Good evening, good evening. Good evening.
I always complain to you about monotony. Not this time, boy. I got to big you up. That song there, hit.
Thank you.
I got to commend you.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, man, I got to commend you. When I get monotony, I'm going to pay you. When you come good, man, I got to give you a commendation.
All right.
Yeah, man, I like that. I like this one.
So you like the song?
I listened for the second one. And the song was well put together too.
As usual.
What about the message, caller? Because it has a strong message.
That's what I'm talking about. The message is well put together. I mean, he was got some wrong, yeah, but the man, you could see the man going.
But do you agree that we're having a problem with Calypso in terms of Calypso dying?
Well, very much so. I mean, we getting people gravitating to the jump and wine and jump and wave. But you see, like you said earlier, the Calypso is an art form, and we don't want to lose it. We don't want to lose it. In the old days, when we have Christmas and buzzard and them kind of things here, is a message. Whatever happened during the year, it's brought in serenading. And Calypso is the same kind of thing. Calypso is the same kind of thing. I mean, you could get the message from the song. You know, in Antigua, you had all these. Oh, and by the way, the only ones here in Antigua now, you know.
Yeah, the one died, yes. The Antigua one is died.
Zero last night.
Okay. All right, brother. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
All the best. Yeah.
Cheers. King, before you depart the studio, I think this is a very serious, and maybe in a way, we need to have some kind of Calypso symposium to bring people together, writers, musicians, artists themselves, because you make a valid point about the writing. But I want to just get your opinion on something. There was a point I find. I mean, you had some classics in terms of Calypso here. A lot of them political commentary. A lot of them satire and almost witty. You know, you're saying something naughty, but you're saying it in a way that that is acceptable. You know, there was, I think, that level of excitement. I find, and I'm speaking for myself, and I hasten to say what I'm going to say by prefacing it and making it clear that I'm not a connoisseur, I'm not an expert, but just as a consumer, somebody who sits and listens. I find that a lot of the Calypsos we have had in recent years have been rather bland. There's no hard-hitting political commentary. I'm a politician, and I'm saying for or against. There used to be a time when people look forward to hear what scandals were in the country, what political situation. You yourself, I mean, I remember you did a classic Godson in Sinkits, you know, Fruit of Your Labor, these kinds of tunes that still resonate. King Miko had done 5 more years in government, that's your punishment, things of that nature. I find nowadays, you know, you have a lot of songs which are rather along the same line. Oh, we culture dying, you know, let's celebrate the icons of culture, Culturama again. It's more, if you will, I don't want to use the term pedestrian because I don't want to denigrate what people are producing. But in terms of the topics, not the lyrics or the music or anything, I'm just talking about the topics. You're not getting, in my view, the kind of witty. I remember, I believe it's you, and a line that has stuck in my head when, tell them what you hear. Right? 1981. And, I mean, you know, I hear in Miss and Mr. Amri. Right. Tell them what you hear. Composing tune for King Chubby. I mean, to me, this is what it is when fellas were in the stands rolling. But less and less are we getting that. What do you think the reasons for that could be?
There's not really reasons, like just that you choose a topic and you run with it, and only so much of that you could sing. Otherwise, you're going to sound monotonous if you keep going the same route that you speak of. Because we used to do a lot of that. You're right about it. We used to do a hell of a lot.
But I'm not getting any of it now. That's my thing. I'm not hearing in recent years. Can you yourself, as a practitioner of the art form, as somebody who has been in every competition, let us look at the last 5 years, for example. Have we had one political hard-hitting commentary?
Of course.
You feel so in the last 5 years?
I did 2 in the last 5 years.
I don't know. I just find sometimes, you know. I mean, I want the kind of.
You want the bacchanal thing.
Well, what I'm saying, the kind of Calypso, man. When you sit down there, you say, boy, I go as a politician, I gonna get some licks tonight. You know, that kind of thing. You know, it used to be a time when Calypsoers were punching.
Yeah, when I see like Green gone in and
yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
You know, there was a time for that, but that seems to really have disappeared.
Because all that depends on me, only a few write. So I'm telling you, most of them guys doesn't write. They get the songs from others.
But even if they don't write, it's another situation where, let us say I'm using a writer in Sinkits, that I will tell the writer, listen, I want something political. I want something that's going to go after the premier. Or I want something that's going to say the premier is doing a good job. But I'm just saying that even if somebody else is writing for you, I would think that you're not just singing whatever somebody give you. You're giving them a topic.
Some will have an input.
Right.
Some sing it straight as they get it. But some will have an input. You know, and then again, he has to do the messenger. He has to do the messenger. Because you could get a very good song like you're talking about that is showing licks, so to speak. And it doesn't go down well.
Yeah.
But you're not selling it properly.
Well,
But you give somebody else that same song there,
Right.
and the thing is just shaking.
Well, I'm just curious because I said, I'm not hearing as much witty. I'm not hearing as much, social commentary. I think over the last years, what has stood out for me is songs like "The Culture Dying," "We Need to Rescue the Culture," that kind of thing. And as I said, after a while, the language the caller used was monotonous. I wouldn't go that far because I know the effort that people put into their music. But what I will say is, in terms of the topics that are selected, they start to sound like everybody singing
You have some
a
years
similar
when
thing.
you will go like the 50th anniversary, you're going to be singing about that. So you have the years. But outside of that, I've done very few cultural songs.
Right,
I've
right.
left that a long time ago and gone to different
Different
topics and
things.
so forth.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is King This and That, and he has released, I think, what we can say is a monster jam this evening. The question will be whether or not it's enough for him to be crowned yet again as the king, the monarch of Calypso on the island of Nevis. What we can say is that win, lose or draw, this and that has been there every year. And as he pointed out, this year he's celebrating his 50th. 50 years of doing something you love. That is absolutely remarkable. So, King, I've said it to you in the past. I say it again tonight publicly. Congratulations to you and thank you. Thank you for all that you've done and all that you've continued to do, because a lot of other people would have given up. They feel like, well, they cheat me, I should have won, I didn't win, and they give up. You have persevered. And I believe that that is important, and you could only persevere when you truly love something.
That's the key, the love for the art form.
Good. All right, this is King This and That, who dropped us a monster jam tonight. Are we going to play it one last time before the king leaves? Can you cue it up for us? Let's cue it up and play it one last time.
Gaston Brown in Antigua, up the balling murder. Because the Calypso standard gone. No more shot or swallow, ups in net or zero. Nobody left to carry on. It's the same thing go happen in Nevis. If we continue to judge Calypso like this, Calypso is suffering, yet you undermining the very standard. We need to go upward. All you think it's easy, competing yearly in front of people who don't know one damn thing about Calypso. If I didn't love this here art form, many years ago I would have gone. Hear me now. Give the Calypso a chance to breathe, because only so it would succeed. Look reggae and soca rising high. Why you want to see Calypso die? It's the heartthrob of the festival, and without it there's no bacchanal. Everybody look forward each year, and it's Calypso they want to hear. If we continue to push Calypso underground, we will be balling just like Gaston Brown. Where he ballin'? Calypso gone, Calypso gone, Calypso gone, Calypso gone. 50 years ago, my friend, I took up paper and pen and start to write good Calypso. So it hurt my heart to see that it dying slowly, for reasons I really don't know. A good Calypso with a good story, mixed with lyrics and sweet melody, just be so enlightening
and so entertaining all around the country. It does vibrate nicely. It is such a privilege to sing you the message with rhythm and music, supporting the topic. Nothing in the world sweeter than that, my friend. That is why I sing again and again. Hear me now.
Give the Calypso a chance to breathe, because only so it would succeed. Look, reggae and soca rising high. Why you want to see Calypso die?
It's the heartthrob of the festival, and without it there's no bacchanal. Everybody look forward each year, and it's Calypso they want to hear. If we continue to push Calypso on the ground, we will be balling just like Gaston Brown. Why he balling?
Calypso gone, Calypso gone, Calypso gone, Calypso gone.
Because of the bad treatment, many veterans absent. They just can't take it anymore. They say the judging system is so undermining. Competing is not like before. Some even try to convince me to walk away from the monarchy, but I tell them no, no, I ain't living just so. Calypso that make me the person that I be. So if it is dying, I got to do something. No kind of bad treatment, no mess with my talent. For in spite of everything I said, my friend, plenty Calypso still in my head. Hear me now.
Give the Calypso a chance to breathe, because only so it would succeed. Look, reggae and soca rising high. Why you want to see Calypso die?
It's the heartthrob of the festival, and without it there's no bacchanal. Everybody look forward each year, and it's Calypso they want to hear. If we continue to push Calypso on the ground, we will be balling
just like Gaston Brown.
Why he balling?
Calypso gone, Calypso gone, Calypso gone, Calypso gone.
That is King This and That. And so, King, thank you again for being here with us. And we wish you a good night, brother.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
All right.
All right. Look
Good.
forward to song number 2.
All right, for sure. That was King This and That to the Monster Jam, his first song for Culturama 51. And we're very grateful to him. He has, year after year, opted to release here with us. And we certainly do appreciate him and appreciate him using this platform for the continued participation in Culturama and Calypso in particular. 50 years this year for Keith Scarborough MBE, King This and That. A simply remarkable feat. Now, I've been asked to make an announcement that there will be a wellness fair. It's happening on the 30th of May, 2025, starting at 8 a.m. That is this Friday. It will be at the Bath Hotel Hot Springs, and they have a number of events here. It will be in collaboration with the Health Promotion Unit. There will be free health screening for blood pressure and blood sugar, kidney function. They have vendors selling local products, food demonstration, Pilates, massages, some sprint races to the top of the Bath Hotel, and some exciting giveaways. Tickets for lunch at some of our local restaurants, food hampers, etc. They start at 8 a.m., but Rosie, Donald, and Cassandra will be there from 6, serving breakfast, saltfish, liver, Johnny cakes, bush tea. DJ Dendy will be on hand all day to provide some music therapy. Fees to the Springs will be waived on Friday for everyone. Hear me now? Fees will be waived for everyone, and we are hopeful that you go out. That is Friday, the 30th of May, this Friday, starting at 8 a.m. It is a big wellness retreat there at the Bath Hot Springs. We ask that you go out and you support. Ladies and gentlemen, this is On the Mark. I am expecting a very important call from New York, and when that call comes, I've asked my assistant here in studio to put it through, and while we wait for that person to call, I won't say who it is, but as we wait for that very important person, celebrity if I could say, to call, we are going to continue with the show and to have some discussions. This afternoon, I was driving in the Bath Springs area, and I saw a beautiful sign. And you may ask me, why is a sign beautiful? And it's a beautiful sign. Let me pull up my phone here because I took a photo of it. And the sign said, let me get it here. It says, coming soon, 12,000 square foot commercial space for rent. And I thought that was a beautiful sign. And you may ask me, why is that a beautiful sign? It's a beautiful sign because I am seeing such significant investment in the island of Nevis by, of course, foreign investors, but what gives me even greater joy, by local investors as well. And this 12,000 square foot facility that is being constructed is being done by local investors. I think that that is simply remarkable, ladies and gentlemen. As you walk through Charlestown, you see building after building after building that is either being erected from scratch or is being renovated, is being modernized, and we have a building boom that's going on the island of Nevis. At my local barber shop recently, the conversation in the barber shop was that construction workers are hard to find. A lot of people are complaining they can't find workers because the workers now have so much choice. And that is the Nevis that we're trying to build. A Nevis of opportunity, a Nevis where people can earn, a Nevis where the economy is growing. And when you have a local person investing in a 12,000 square foot commercial space, you know that there is confidence in the local economy. And confidence in the local economy only comes about when policies that have been set by government are such that our people feel comfortable. They feel comfortable, they're confident that they can invest and that the investment will pay dividends because the economy is growing, the economy is developing. And so that makes my heart glad. That makes me get up in the morning and want to go to work. It makes me stay up late at night and work. It makes me want to come here every Wednesday and have this conversation with you. Tomorrow we're going to have the monthly press conference from the Premier. It gives me an opportunity to report to the press and to the nation what has happened over the past month insofar as the government is concerned. Yes, there are detractors. I am not worried about the detractors. I'm not worried about the naysayers. I remind every one of you that is listening and viewing that Jesus Christ was perfect, the Son of Jehovah God, sent to earth to save us. And what did man do? Man crucified Jesus, a perfect man. And when given the opportunity, and Pontius Pilate says, Jesus who is perfect, or the old robber, thief, criminal Barabbas. The crowd say, free Barabbas. Give us Barabbas and crucify Jesus. So I am never fussed about those who are only bent on negativity and they're saying there's some people who are starving and you give them bread and they cuss you and ask where they relish. They're starving and you give them, they're thirsty and you give them water and they say, well, only water, where's the sugar? Where's the lime? Is lemonade I want? That is the reality of humans and the human spirit. So I am not too fussed about those who spend a lifetime criticizing, because what I have noticed in this life, that those who criticize the most invariably are those who have achieved the least. Don't take my word for it. Listen to those who make the most noise. Pay attention to those who you hear out there on the radio and on the internet and everywhere else making the most noise. They tend to be those who have failed at everything that they've ever attempted. Those who have no trophies in their closet. They have nothing to show for the lives that they have lived. Yet they like to come and lecture you and I and say to us that they have the answers for our lives when they have no answers for their own. Look at them carefully, examine them. And if you disagree with me, call in and tell me one who is out there making the most noise, who has done something with his or her life that others can look to and say that is someone that I should emulate. The truth is, they will talk about business and the lack of business and how bad business is, but they've never owned a business. They will talk about wages, but they've never had an employee. They don't know what it's like to pay wages. They don't know what it's like to fill out a social security form and to meet the obligations associated with business because they have no idea. They've never started a business. What instead they do is they talk and hope that they can convince you, who goes out to work every day, who's doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. You're building a home, you're providing shelter and security for your family, to convince you that you should put them who are not working in charge of you. Isn't that a marvelous thing? It must be a marvelous thing for somebody out there who's unemployed and unemployable to convince you who are working hard that they should be in charge of you to make decisions for you. Them now working, you know. And them now look no work unless you put them in government. That's the only work they want. That's the only work they feel. You must put them in charge of you. But right now you're doing better than them. With all the opinions and all the skills and all the education and all the training. They're not working anywhere. Are not interested in finding an employment anywhere. Have never had a business to employ a soul. And seem to be sending a message that the only space that they can occupy is a space in government. If they're not in government, there's no life for them. If their long snouts are not in the public trough, there's nothing that they can do. And so they spend their time bashing and bashing. But while they're bashing, I had a story relayed to me a few days ago by a dear friend. He said that he had a friend who visited. And whilst that friend was visited, that friend has not been here for 5 or 6 years. And whilst that friend was visiting, that friend was accosted by some members of the opposition who spent a long time trying to persuade this visitor to Nevis, Nevision, but somebody who had come to visit, that nothing was happening in Nevis. And the young man said, but I had not been here for 5 years, I'm now back. When I come back now I see water taxi pier, water taxi terminal. Boats moving every 15-20 minutes, boats are moving back and forth, people moving. I drive around on brand new roads. Brown Hill, Island Main Road, Butlers, Shaw's Road. I see the Malcolm Gishard Park. The development with all the bars and restaurants at Penny's. I see the Mondo track, the Treasury building in town, the new police station in Newcastle. I see homes being constructed, commercial buildings being constructed all across Nevis. How you mean nothing is happening? I see the development in water to the point where nothing named water turn off in Nevis anymore unless there's an emergency. 24/7 water. I see the development in electricity and investment. It used to be that electricity was more off than on. Now it's more on than off. The quality of life that our people enjoy. The number of young people going away to school, to university, at a time when it used to be that to send a youngster to university was a big deal. Now it's commonplace. All of these things, I'm told the young man pointed out to these nattering nabobs of negativity. And when in response to the water taxi and the roads and the Mondo track and the Malcolm Gishard Park and of course the exceptional development there at Bath Stream and Bath Hotel, which is even now ongoing, I'm told that the response from one of the detractors was that those things are just cosmetic. Those things are just cosmetic. Those things don't develop the island. So you mean to tell me that providing water, ample potable water to our people 24/7, that is cosmetic? Everywhere around the world, water availability, water sustainability is a critical plank of development. You can't develop without water. Water is life. You can't have hotels and restaurants. You can't have agriculture without water. You can't have life without water. And in the past 10 or so years, this government has invested somewhere close to $50 million in water infrastructure on the island of Nevis. Upgrades in relation to distribution, upgrades in relation to storage, and even now we are drilling for more water that should allow us the capacity that we need. We're trying to find an additional 1.5 to 2 million gallons of water. That is cosmetic. You have a water taxi industry, and I use the language because it is the appropriate language. Every time I walk on that pier, I feel proud. Every time I go and sit in that terminal, air-conditioned comfort, I feel proud. When I look at all of these youngsters now captaining boats, the growth of Islander, and all of the other companies that are out there, Blue Wave, that are operating, I feel proud because what we did was we saw that entrepreneurial spirit existed in our people, and we say we're going to invest in it. We're going to invest in it. We're going to create the type of infrastructure around it that will allow these businesses to grow. And you know what I love about the water taxi business? Currently, it is 100% based on Nevis, 100% Nevision owned. None of our brothers and sisters and Sinkits have got into that business yet. And you say that is cosmetic? You don't understand that that investment has spawned a whole new industry, an ease of travel between St. Kitts and Nevis, which augurs well for business. It augurs well for our restaurant trade. It augurs well for our tourism. Do we understand and appreciate now that people are leaving Nevis and going to St. Kitts at nights for dinner and coming back, and vice versa? That tourists now staying in St. Kitts at the Marriott and at the Park Hyatt are jumping on the boats and coming over, enjoying the beautiful beaches on Nevis and then going back to their hotel, and vice versa. That has only become possible because of that investment. Yet, it is said to be cosmetic. When you go now to the Bath Springs and you try to imagine what it used to be, and you compare that now to the oasis that we have created there. Beautiful seating, beautiful surroundings, a beautiful cafe where you can get your coffee and relax, your scones and something healthy. Go soak in the pool, bathrooms, changing rooms, proper lighting, proper security. You call that cosmetic? When we talk about the park at Pinnes, we recently had the distinction of hosting a geothermal symposium right there at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. And to hear the delegates speak of the beauty of the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park, the vision that went into it, the execution, and then those that were able to filter down to the second phase of that project that we developed and opened last year for Culturama 50. The bars and the restaurants, the parking, the lighting, And they all commented with awe at what this government had created for the leisure, enjoyment, business, entertainment of our people. And yet this young man said he was told those things are only cosmetic. But you know what cosmetic is? Cosmetic is when I have acne and I take something to cover it, some powder or something. That's what cosmetic is, you know. Cosmetic means that you just throw on some paint and something, but underneath it's rotten. It's not good. You mean to tell me I just listed these projects, all of which have happened in the last 5 years or so, and the response is that these are just cosmetic? Therein lies my dilemma, because you have people engaging, using, enjoying. People turn on their pipe every day, every night, shower for as long as they want, soak in their tub, do all the things that we need water to do. And then you have people out there saying that these things are purely cosmetic. Yet they claim that they are all about sustainability and sustainable development. Well, you're going to sustainably develop the island of Nevis without water. Explain that to me. How are you going to grow more food and have more agriculture without water? Explain that to me. Because you see, sometimes people talk because they have a tongue in their head. And at some point, they learn to say, see spot run. So they talk. But when you examine what they're saying, today, for example, the leader of NRP was on a radio station. I don't make it a habit of listening foolishness. But I was in the car headed to an important meeting with the ambassador of Saudi Arabia. And while in the car, that was what was on. And I heard some of the most outlandish statements. Apparently, I didn't know this. We are developing the Vance Amri International Airport so that my rich friends can land their jets over there. So it seems like the airport is going to be exclusive to whoever these rich friends of mine are. So you and I are not going to be able to use it. That's the way it sounds. I heard all this talk about this lady saying that she's about action. And I said, well, what action she's talking about? What is the action that she can point to? Where are the success stories that she has had? If my recollection is correct, she would have returned to Nevis in 2001, 24 years ago. Well, in 24 years, what is your record of service to the people of Nevis? What are the successes? Because it's easy once we say we're in politics, you know, we start to sponsor everything. I saw some time ago some person say they were getting involved in politics. Their name started to call. Next thing me hear, walkathon and domino tournament and basketball tournament and everything. Me say, my God, it looked like they had some money put down because sponsoring everything. When they did not make the team for the politics, guess what? We don't see them sponsor nothing again. You all remember one year some fella was running? And man, every Sunday he was in the square handing out food, hot meals, showing how much he cares about the people who don't have something to eat. But guess what? Soon as he take a beating at the polls, he never remember them poor people need to eat again. In the last 7-8 years, he forget that the people need to eat every day. It's easy. Once you say you're a politician, you start to do things in the community. You start to go to church. You start to sponsor a child. You start to get involved in everything, sponsor everything. But what about when you were not in politics? When you were just showing your love for people without there being a quid pro quo, without you seeking through sponsorship and those things to influence people to put you in some position? That's a legitimate question to ask. And I have known the lady practically all my life. And I keep asking, well, what is this record of performance that you're talking about? Because we don't even want to go to the performance in the U.S. Virgin Islands. We don't even want to talk about that because that's a topic that she doesn't want to touch. So what really is the performance that we're talking about? The action. Because if the tangible evidence of progress on the island of Nevis will be disparaged and discredited as merely cosmetic, then you must bring your trophy and show me your trophy. You must say, well, this is what I have done. This is what prepares me to sit in the big chair. This is what gives the people of Nevis confidence that I can manage the affairs of the island in a particular way. That is what you have to do, not just talk. And then, as I drove and headed for my meeting, I hear this interviewer. I don't even know what I should call, because to me, what I listen to, they might as well just have said, here's the mic, just go ahead and talk. Because no questions were asked, no, nothing at all. It's just, yes, amen, I agree with you, yes, amen, amen, that sounds good, yes, that sounds... Pure foolishness. And then the unthinkable happened. The interviewer on a live radio program said, we're not going to take any calls because we don't want to muddy the water. I said, what is this? Well, I'm happy to say that my name is Mark Brantley. I'm the leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement. I'm the Premier of the island of Nevis. I have this show called On the Mark every Wednesday from 8 to 10 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's only powerhouse, VON Radio, 860 on your AM dial. And I shall be taking your calls because as a servant of the people, I should not be afraid to talk to the people. Some want to talk at you. I want to speak with you. That's the fundamental difference. I want to engage. I want to listen to you, share my views and hear your views. See how we can work together to make things better. That's what I want to do. You think I could come on here for 2 hours and say, no calls because I don't want nobody to call in and muddy the water? But that is grossly disrespectful to the people that I say I want to serve. The people that I say I serve. Well, how you could serve a man and you don't want to hear what the man has to say? And that's why I've been proud in the last 2 decades to say of this show On the Mark that we attract, welcome, respect all shades of public opinion. Plenty and happy people call the show. And all that I've ever asked of them is let's be respectful of each other. Place your blows, make your argument, but let's be respectful of each other. But I am not going to say, I am not taking any calls because I don't want you to muddy the water. Well, that means your opinion doesn't matter. Only mine matters. You must listen to me, but I should not give you a chance where I can listen to you. So when I hear this thing, I start to laugh. Because I said to myself, this can't be serious. Well, if that is the case, why have a live program? Just record a speech and tell the fellas, here's $500 per the speech for me. Because the purpose of going on these programs, I would have thought, was to engage, to open yourselves up. That's why when I say the numbers to call are, I invite people to call. And whether you're here or you're abroad, you're free to call. That's what I seek to do. Incidentally, as I say, we expect an important call from New York. I'm hoping that that call will come through. It is now 9 o'clock. But we'll continue the show in the meantime. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that that is an important point of departure, because there's some who are seeking positions of leadership who are clearly demonstrating that they're either afraid of you, who they're asking to repose your trust and confidence in them, or alternatively, they have no respect for you and your opinion. Because to go on a program and say you're not taking any calls, I find that to be absolutely astonishing. And the reason given, you don't want to muddy the waters. Well, my goodness, that means you don't want any contrary view. You don't want any explanation. You don't want to have to expand. You don't want anybody to ask you anything or to share their views with you. Well, that sounds like dictatorship, not democracy. Because freedom of speech is a fundamental tenet of our democracy. We have a call, so let's go to the telephones. Caller, good evening, you're on the mark. No, caller, please be patient with us. The numbers are 869-469-1616 and 869-469-1700. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll pass on from that and to say to you that the geothermal energy project is well and truly on the way. We are hopeful that we will, in the next month, be able to open bids. There has been a sustainability conference happening on St. Kitts and on Nevis. It started on Nevis with a geothermal conference on Monday. It will come back to small islands and financing on Friday. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they've been in St. Kitts. I was privileged and invited to speak on Monday here in Nevis. On St. Kitts on Tuesday, I spoke at the opening, and then I also spoke on 2 or 3 other panels, including a panel with Prime Minister Drew at the Eco Park in St. Kitts. And the excitement is clear. The interest of the region and the world in terms of what we are doing right here in Little Nevis and St. Kitts is clear. It is very obvious that this project has ignited the imagination of the world. And when I looked at the beeline of persons wanting to meet, representatives of the EU, large companies who are in this space, who are attending, who came specifically because they want to come to Nevis, to see Nevis and to go and see the geothermal site. There is tremendous excitement, and that is why today I journeyed back to St. Kitts to meet with the Saudi ambassador to the United Nations. And for me, sitting there, ladies and gentlemen, with His Excellency, I felt particularly proud. You know why? He said to me that tomorrow, 29th of May, will mark the 9th anniversary of diplomatic relations between St. Kitts Nevis and Saudi Arabia. And I reflected that it was on the 29th of May in the year of our Lord 2016 that yours truly, as foreign minister of this country, would have had the opportunity to usher in a new relationship between St. Kitts and Nevis and Saudi Arabia. And in those short 9 years, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has already stepped forward to assist tangibly the people of Nevis and St. Kitts with a $20 million commitment to our geothermal progress. I used to talk a lot about diplomacy, and I used to have a hashtag, diplomacy matters. And many used to say to me, why are you going around the world forming these relationships? Nobody want to hear about them country there. But the vision was clear. The foreign ministry under my guidance was clear. We are expanding and enlarging the diplomatic footprint of St. Kitts and Nevis. We may be small, but our size ought not to restrict our ability to engage with the world. and we settled one after the other. New diplomatic relations, including Saudi Arabia, including Qatar, and many nations in Africa. We concluded visa waiver arrangements with so many countries. Countries large and small. I remember sitting at the United Nations across a table from the foreign minister of Russia, Sergei Lavrov, and signing so that our people, if they so desired, could travel to Russia without a visa. I did the same with so many other leaders. With the foreign minister of Kenya, Madam Mohammed, if I recall, was her name. Traveled to Senegal to sign diplomatic relations with them. Signed so many engagements with the international community, and I'm sitting there today with the representative of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and he is reminding me that tomorrow these two countries celebrate 9 years. You see, the point that I'm trying to make is that when we're talking about development, we're talking about how we grow a country. We have to have a vision that goes beyond our nose. Some people are talking, but they have no concept of what it's like. They have no concept. You see, when Saudi Arabia is giving money to sink its navies, I'm not even in government. But under my leadership, I laid the groundwork by taking the first critical step of establishing diplomatic relations with Saudi Arabia. Let's go to the phones. Good evening, you are on the mark.
Mr. Brantley, good night.
Good night to you.
Yes, from me and the mark. So can I say let's set go?
We're not going anywhere. We're right here for a while.
Listen here.
Yes.
Me believe you misinterpreted the host this afternoon, you know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What happened, the leader of the opposition was so good that he satisfied the host and he satisfied the listeners. So he said, don't even murky the water because she made that good. You get that? So, and the matter, so we think you need for give the host one little apology and stop laugh off it because the leader of the opposition was very, very, very good this afternoon.
So, first of all, there's no leader of the opposition. But if you're talking about the interview that I listened to,
yeah, I listened to him too.
and the interview was so good,
Yeah.
well, why you not open the phone and let people tell you how good you were?
The matter of fact, before, no, the last time she did the phone line is open, but then what happened is that the host posed some question and time run out, but then look, this lady, right, Mr. Brantley, look, if you're in a position, right now we just start to pull out our and rabbit out of hat and so forth and going on. Because she ready to take his place.
She what is late, you say?
She's ready to take your place.
Well, that many people have been ready to take the place, you know, that is not the point.
Okay, but listen here. You said just now that the Saudi man are going to give over 20 million?
Yes, that was announced some months ago.
Who actually going to give? You going to give the island and this, or you going to give the federation?
The federation.
But then that they kind of mix them up, you see, because of your diplomatic with as one foreign minister, so forth and so. So you personally couldn't get on for Navy itself for the geothermal?
No caller. If you understand how the country works, diplomacy is handled at the national level, the federal level, not at the Nevis level. The Nevis Island Administration is responsible for the administration of the island of Nevis. So anytime a foreign government, Anytime CDB, anytime any of those multilateral United Nations, they will engage at the national level. So even if it's a project for Nevis, it has to come through the federal government. That is how the constitutional is the constitution is constructed.
We understand that, but
Yes.
right now, the federal ambassador?
No, caller, I'm not.
Right. So you know, get So while you may the foreign ambassador, now money will come now through one other foreign ambassador. And not you, right?
Caller, you're confusing me.
No,
I have said to you very plainly that the Saudi government has agreed to provide 20 million US dollars for the geothermal project on Nevis. You've asked me how the money is going to come, and I tell you it has to come through the federal government, because the federal government is the only entity that the Saudi government will engage with directly. They will engage with Nevis for the information, etc. But when all is said and done, the federal government will have to sign off, because they constitutionally are the authority that engages with foreign affairs.
Yeah,
you understand now?
Me understand that. Me understand that. But here, what because of what you say, that's why my question. You said that the Saudi foreign ambassador, because of the ties now of what you say, about 9 years.
Yes.
Now. Exactly. So this one may say, well, you may foreign direct. You know, make that no money, right?
I didn't get it.
No. Yeah, but what I said, no, you already see it. So now, if you go give the money to things, that's a go for another. That's the government.
Yeah, but caller, you misinterpret what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I am saying that the relationship, I felt proud because the relationship with Saudi Arabia started with me.
Oh, started with you.
Well, you never hear that part. If it was 9 years ago and we're celebrating 9 years tomorrow, I said I felt proud because it was on the 29th day of May in the year of our Lord 2016 that relationship started, that I signed diplomatic relations with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Right. It's not the money directly to Nevis, you give them to the federal, right? So then why you say you give them to Nevis?
Caller, I believe you're confusing yourself and so confusing me.
Okay,
Because no, you're either not listening, you're not paying attention, or you're not understanding. Because I have been very clear in explaining to you that the federal government is the entity constitutionally charged with engaging. That is why I could say when I was foreign minister, therefore, when I was a minister at the federal level, in 2016, we signed diplomatic relations with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. That relationship has now flourished to the point where in 9 years they are affording us some financial assistance for a project that is located on the island of Nevis. And I would have met with the gentleman today and thanked him for the interest and the support.
For giving who the money to?
What do you mean giving who? Where you want me to tell you again the money must come through the federal government? But the project that the money will be used for is the project in Nevis. What's so hard about that to understand?
Mr. Brantley, exactly that. Why you said it just now, I confused me, you know.
Well, if you're confused, brother, I can't help you anymore. Because me talk English and you understand Spanish, yeah?
Okay, but people, so maybe they will pick up. They misunderstand or understand or me understand.
Okay, all right. Well,
okay, no problem.
I've tried my best with you, but I'm going to leave it there. All right? Because, all right, thanks a lot. So this,
no problem.
This caller is saying that the interview today was so good that there was no need for anybody else to call in. Well, that is a fascinating position. That is truly fascinating, because that's like a student saying, teacher, don't bother mark my paper, I will mark it myself because it's so good. The essay I write is so good, teacher, that you don't need to bother mark it. I will give myself an A. Let me never hear so much. Well, let me respect all callers and their views, but that one took me by surprise. Because the reason why, I can come here and I can say anything. Caller, you know the reason you could just call in and ask me questions and share your point of view? Because I am not afraid to engage with you. I believe that as a servant of the people, as someone who asks for people to put their trust in me, that I ought not to be afraid of them. I should be able to engage with you whether you support me or not. But if I said to you, caller, that I made some statements on radio about the Saudis and the money from the Saudis, and my statement was so perfect that I want no call from you. What if, as you say, you're confused and you don't understand? You realize that you're telling me you will not have an opportunity to call in and ask the Premier of Nevis what he means? That's what you're defending tonight? You see, therein lies the problem, you know, because a lot of us see foolishness. We know it's foolishness, but we call it good. We say, man, that good. And we know it's not so. Then the lines are open. 869-469-1616. Let's go straight back. Good evening, caller. You're on the mark.
Yes, Bradley.
Hello?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you fine. Go ahead.
Yes, no problem. So let me ask some question about the fish here. You willing to talk about that?
Caller, that is why we have a talk show.
All right.
That is the difference.
Exactly.
You understand the difference now between today and tonight?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
good.
But,
go ahead.
Yeah, but let me just listen here now. Are we now going to the Charleston card? Are we going to talk? Are we going to start from when the three party we got the breaking up? And Mr. Sean Richards may back you up and say that need the face here. You remember that?
Yes, caller, go ahead.
Right. But then me never hear one follow up on Sean again. Me wonder if I still on good terms.
Well, so if you haven't heard a follow up from Sean, you must ask Sean that. Or you ask me that.
Okay, no problem.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, let me move on. So you say that you know see how hard hard because all what they need to do think it's bigger than Nevis. So if them get $1, just give 25 and the 75 got the thing. You remember the talk there?
I remember
that?
Caller, I remember I said that it was not a difficult proposition.
Exactly.
That we ought to know how much money is coming in.
Right.
We take out the expenses of the program, and we divide what is left based on the population of both islands. That's what I said.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Right. But then now, see, Premier Juno, Prime Minister Juno come on the scene. Then what you may say now, he not take you on, he say, to be fair, let he go, there's somebody when no better. And then he go seek help now from me. The World Bank?
Yes.
Right. That may one collective or one single-handed to go to the World Bank to get help.
What you mean collective or single-handed?
In other words, the you go by yourself or the two you sit down and then...
No. I would not have had anything to do with that, caller. That's a decision that the Prime Minister and his cabinet would have taken, as is within their right.
Right. So this one may say that it's single-handed then. Okay. I want to pay for document or one grant document.
I'm sorry?
You would have, Prime Minister Joe would have pay for the help there or I want grant?
I do not believe that when you go to the World Bank for that type of assistance that you have to pay. But I confess I'm not sure whether he would have paid or not.
Okay, no problem. Anyway, he get the help now that he's equal. And you decide now, well, you don't want the paper for the use whether it be calculation, whatever the case may be. You don't think that now that the paper come, you don't think that the two are supposed to sit down together instead of just this paper and get to financial, you take your paper now and give to your cabinet You don't think that the two of you should, all of you should sit down together, even include the leader of the opposition, and I work out why I work out?
Well, caller, I agree with you that we need to sit and we need to work out. But before you sit and you work out, you don't think that you must understand what it is the World Bank report is saying? And if you want to understand it, you must not get your technocrats involved so that they could guide you and advise you?
But here we're missing now, here we're missing now, Mr. Brantley, Premier Brantley. Now, check the amount of years now that you talk about fair share. Hearing now that you get this paper, check the prolonging since that this paper comes. So that means there is no urgency to get the fair share.
Well, I don't understand why you're saying that, caller. We have not had that document in Nevis for any length of time. We recently received that document. I would say we received that document within the last month or so.
Month?
Yes, that's when we received the document in Nevis. I would imagine, I don't have a precise date, but if it's more than a month, it's not much more than a month that we received the document.
But how long did you say that he get the document?
Well, that is not, I am speaking to my government and what it is we are doing. Prime Minister Drew said he received the document. His team wanted to have a look at it. And after we had a joint cabinet meeting, I think it was in March, that we requested the document, and the document was subsequently provided to us. It has been a month, maybe a month and a half, that we have had the document, and we are studying that document before the two teams sit down to try and work out, well, how we're going to deal with this and what direction we're going to go in. I don't understand you're saying that we are not treating it as urgent. I sat in a government for 7 years as a member of the Team Unity government, where fair share was promised in a document that was signed by all of the parties, and it did not happen.
But the document not got the cabinet. Premier Brantley.
But what you mean the document did not go to cabinet? Well, the same document made Timothy Harris Prime Minister. It didn't go to cabinet. So what are you saying? He must go cabinet for some purpose, but not for the rest?
No, the document have to go to cabinet for ratify.
Oh, but you know when cabinet for Tim to become Prime Minister?
No, that's all different.
That's different.
That campaign promise different to government business, you know, a government business now.
Caller, all of what happened was laid out in the agreement that the parties made. And you can't cherry pick some of the agreement and say, oh, well, that needed this and that needed, but others were all right.
Premier Brantley,
yes.
You say party, you know, not government party.
All right, caller. Well, you and I are going to have to part company because you're now treading into the realm of people who can't be trusted. I believe if you and I sit down and we come to an understanding and we say we're going to join forces based on that understanding, do not then get your benefit from the understanding and turn around and tell me that those were only parties talking. Well, who make up the parties? I ask your question. I ask your question. Who make up the parties?
The people, the different
So let me ask you this: so if you and I then sit down and decide that we're going to put our resources together to achieve a result, and when the result comes, we lay out, you know, what we're going to do. We agree what we're going to do. When the result comes, you take your benefit, and then you turn around and tell me, boy, that was only the party for you, you know. Huh? That is what you're telling the people of Sinking. Can everybody listen to you right now?
Premier Brantley, are we going to depart on this year?
Well, we done depart long time, you know.
Government and party are two different entities.
My brother, you are missing the point. You're basically telling me then that one individual in that arrangement could not be trusted. That's what you're telling me?
No. I tell you that.
Oh, okay.
I tell you that.
Well, like you say, you say
and party two different things.
Listen, you say we will depart. You say we will depart, so let's depart. For a man who say that today, when no cars were allowed, was a good thing. You've taken up a lot of time on the show tonight.
No. Me said that. Not the man. Not the man. Me said that the leader of the opposition was
let me ask you a question. I said for a man who say you're not a man.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you understand me now?
Yeah, me understand. Me
Okay.
understand you now.
So
Yeah.
earlier you tell me that today when no cars, that was good. But now you take up my whole show tonight, a chat.
Okay. Me go different. Me will talk about next week.
All right, brother. Take care.
Okay, no problem.
Okay,
Okay.
all the best. Let's go back to the phones and continue to take the calls. Good evening, you're on the mark. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, you're on the air, go ahead.
Yes, BRANTLEY, good evening.
Good evening to you.
All right. Calling to share community notice and outreach as president of the Brownhill Community Management Team. My name is Warren Pemberton, and our group will be hosting a community cleanup and recycling day in recognition of World Environment Day, which is going to be on the 5th of June. World Environment Day really seeks to bring action towards the protection and conservation of the environment. So on the 7th, which is the Saturday, we'll be having a community cleanup. Today we would have commenced on registration, and we are excited to say so far we would have registered over 20 persons to come and be a part of it. We are hoping even more persons will come and join. We having the registration again tomorrow from 5 to 6 p.m. Next to the Brownhill basketball court, right next to the Music Valley Community Center. So we're asking all persons in the environment who in the community who come out and be a part of this event. We will be registered. When we registered persons, they will give their information. On the Saturday, they will be given a T-shirt and supplies to do the community cleanup. We'll be having a light breakfast serving, and that's just we'll be selling a light breakfast just to raise some funds for the group projects ahead. And as I say, we are encouraging persons who maybe you might come in the village to do exercise, or you might go by high shop to buy bread. Once you care about the environment and you care about Brown, we want you to encourage you to come out and be a part of it. All right?
All right, Warren, count me in.
Oh, yes.
Because, I definitely will lend my support, and I want to applaud you and the whole Brownhill management team for the excellent initiatives that you all keep rolling out one after the other. I think it definitely shows that volunteerism is alive and well, and I want to commend you and the team publicly for the excellent work that you all have been doing. So I join you in encouraging everybody to get involved. The environment, of course, is important. That is how we sustain life. It's a critical part of sustainability, and I certainly encourage those to get involved, and you can definitely count on my support.
Thank you, sir. Looking forward to it.
All right. Thanks, brother.
Okay.
All right. That is the Brownhill management group there, who's doing excellent work in the community of Brownhill and its environs, and we continue to encourage, of course, our people to get involved in something. Volunteer your time, volunteer your efforts. It's very rewarding to do things that help people. Let's go back to the phones and take this call. Good evening, caller. You're on the air. Hello?
Hello, good night.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, and how are you?
I'm doing well.
This is Abana.
Oh, this is the celebrity call that we've been waiting on all night. I told my audience since about 8:30 that I'm expecting an important call, and like all celebrities, you decide to make us wait. So I'm very happy to have you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Abana Amri, who is a singer, who's definitely a rising star, and she will be performing at the St. Kitts Music Festival in June. She is a daughter of the soil and Nivision, and she lives in the United States. And Abana, I did say to your manager who set this up that I will allow you an opportunity to tell the people of Nevis and St. Kitts, those who are listening here at home, and certainly those who are also listening abroad, who you are and what you're doing, and to give us a sense of what we can expect for the music festival. If you have new music coming out, I turn the On the Mark show over to you.
Oh, well, thank you. First, let me say thank you for having me. It's honored to be on the show to talk to my St. Kitts Nevis people. As you said, I'm a daughter of the soil, and I am looking forward to coming back home to represent my Nivision folks. I'm coming with being backed up by the Greenhouse Band, Jack Beek, a fellow Nivision, and I'm just coming to St. Kitts Music Fest. I'm performing on Saturday, June 28th, and I am looking forward to spreading my music, showing the people what I have, and making Nevis and St. Kitts proud. You know, coming with some new music, a little bit of the old stuff, some original music, just spreading the love, you know, my message of love to my fellow Nevisians and Kittitians. So that's it. So, yeah, look forward to some bringing the vibes, good vibes. And I'm also going to be on Nevis Mango Festival, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
Oh, so you're staying over and joining us for the Mango Fest?
Of course,
Well,
yes.
well, fantastic.
You
Well,
know.
you would know, Abana, that the first time we had a concert at the Mango Fest was to mark the 10th anniversary last year. And you were one of our headliners at that event. And so I'm delighted to hear that you will stay over after the Music Fest and spend some time with us in Nevis. I know you are a lover of mangoes, so we'll have lots of mangoes here for you.
Yes, I'll come into Radio Trees when I reach. As long as you have Amri Polly.
Oh, that's the only kind. Well,
Yeah.
well, you have a mango name for your family. So how's that?
Isn't that great? And it tastes good, so I can't go wrong. So yes.
Absolutely. Well, we certainly look forward. But tell us a little bit about the career, how things are going thus far. You know, I teased you, I think one time we spoke and said that you sort of left it a bit later in life, you know, to really be making a go at this in terms of a musical career. But we enjoy your music immensely. We're very proud of you, and we just want to hear a bit about sort of where your career is going and how things have been going for you thus far.
Well, thank you so much. Yes, I did start a little bit later in life. I guess I took time to do the mommy thing and getting myself together. But now that I'm a little bit freer, I said, you know, let's go for it. So I've written a few songs. I've released some original music and some covers over the past 2 to 3 years, which have been received well. And I'm continuing to write. I've done some collaborations recently. I collaborated, like, 2 of the songs that I'm planning to release coming up for Music Festival. I collaborated with Jazzy, who's from Nevis. And I also have a song, he wrote a song for me, and I'm also doing another song written by former Anguillan cricketer Omari Banks, musician. So I am looking forward to releasing those 2 songs coming up, and again, performing at St. Kitts Music Fest and Nevis Mango Fest, and looking forward to doing other things in the Caribbean. I am going to England later in September to perform at the Caribbean Gala Awards in London, and I actually have a show coming up on Saturday to give people a little sneak peek of what to expect when they come to Music Festival, or if they can't make it to Music Festival and Mango Fest, to hear what I plan to do there. So that's coming up this Saturday in Brooklyn. And I have a little bit of shows here and there coming up. I don't have specific dates and times right now, but the next show is this Saturday. I'll be in Brooklyn at Woodsy's Bar and Restaurant. For those who are in New York or near New York and you have nothing else to do on Saturday, come on down to Woodsy's Bar and Restaurant, Brooklyn, New York, 1133 Clarkson Avenue, 9 o'clock. Doors open and show starts at 10. So come
You
out.
said the avenue is called?
Yeah.
What's,
Pardon me?
what's the avenue? What's the address?
Clarkson, 1133 Clarkson Avenue in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. I thought you said Claxton.
Yeah.
So it's Clarkston.
No, Clarkson. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Clarkson.
Great.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
Ben, yes, go ahead.
No, so that's some of the things that are coming up right now. New music, a few shows coming up, and of course the big shows, St. Kitts Music Fest and Nevis Mango Festival.
So tell me, so how would you describe your musical style? What is your genre of music? What can people look forward to when they hear Abana Amri? What images does it evoke? What emotion does it evoke? You're not a dancehall artist. You're not. I don't think that from what I've seen, you're not like a soca artist. But how would you describe your music?
So I always say, and I've been saying, I don't like to put myself in a box, pigeonhole myself, but I am Caribbean, so I bring a Caribbean flavor influenced by all the other jazz, R&B, reggae. You know, I kind of mix that Caribbean, because I can't get away from who I am and my roots. So I try to bring the Caribbean flavor, but I also mix in a little R&B, some pop, jazz into my music. So I bring all of that influence. And, of course, my core message is always spreading love and positivity. So whatever music I try to put out there, I try to be positive and spread that love. So that is a little bit about what my music is all about.
And how do you view the music industry? You are clearly making a great push at this. I see you all over social media. You're doing shows all around the U.S. Now I hear you're going to the U.K. You're coming, of course. We're very proud of that, to the St. Kitts Music Festival, which is a huge stage. You're coming back to the Mango Festival. So, but how has it been in terms of the industry? Do you find that it's been accepting of you and your talents? Has it been a difficult path? What would you say to a young artist who's thinking about becoming a Abana Amri, wants to pursue that type of path?
Okay, first of all, don't become a Abana Amri. Be yourself. That's number one. You be you. Find where you are, your unique talents, and bring that out. I think there is an audience for everyone, and you have to hone into be genuine to what you want to put out there to people. The music industry can be very brutal. I still find it to be a male-dominated world, very sexualized, and sometimes the negative messages are the messages that get out there, but I still feel that there is a niche and there is a path for me to spread my positivity, and I'm sticking and staying true to that, because I know there are people out there who have the same mind that I do and who will enjoy my music, and I'm putting out music because I want to be genuine to myself, and I think that is very important. Stay true to who you are, to your core, and just find your place in the system. Again, it's not going to be easy. Find your place. It may not be easy. It does take work, hard work, and a good support system behind you, because it can be lonely out there and it can be brutal. You just have to know how to navigate, and having people behind you to support you, push you, encourage you, help you get along in the process and get out there and stay on top of it.
Well, I made my singing debut on a stage with Taurus Riley here in Nevis at the Freedom Concert.
Okay.
And so as one artist to the next, I just want to say that I'm really proud of what you're doing. I'm proud of how you're putting not just yourself, but the little island of Nevis and the country of St. Kitts and Nevis on the map, and that you're blazing your own path. And I really admire that. I'm cheering you on. I think all of Nevis and St. Kitts are cheering you on as well. We want to see you do well. And I thank you for calling the show and being a part of our little show this evening. But I definitely am looking forward to your performance at the St. Kitts Music Festival and at the Nevis Mango Fest this year.
Yes, well, thank you again for having me. I always, anytime to connect with my Nevisians and my Kittitians, I would do that once it's on a positive platform. I'm all for it, so I'm glad, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity in this space to share a little bit about Abana and what's coming up for me.
Okay, thank you very much. And just let me get it right, your stage name is just Abana, or is it the full Abana Amri?
It's Abana Amri.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Abana. Good luck and keep pushing.
You're welcome, and thank you, and you take care. Good night, all my Nevis folks.
All right, give my love to Adiola and to Mom as well, please.
Will do.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Peace and blessings.
Okay.
All right, good night.
All right. So there we had Abana Amri. That was a call that we were waiting on, and she eventually got through. We're very grateful that she called. She will be here for the St. Kitts Music Festival and also for the Nevis Mango Festival. She's making a name for herself, as she says, spreading positivity through her music. And Abana, I just want to thank you for being a part of the show, and we certainly look forward to your performances both at the St. Kitts Music Festival at the end of June and then at the Nevis Mango Festival at the start of July. Let's go back to the telephones. Good evening, you are on the mark. Hello?
Yeah, good night to the listening public. Good night to you, Mr. Mark.
Good evening, good evening.
Yeah, here we want to know. We want to know how come the airport project is more important than the hospital project. I'm going to listen to you after you.
Okay, caller. Nobody has said that the airport project is more important than the hospital project. We are committed to doing both projects. We think that both projects are critically important to the people of Nevis, and we are committed to both. So it is not a question of one being more important than the other. It is a question of how we can marshal the necessary resources to ensure that the people of Nevis ultimately benefit from both. We think that both projects are important to the development of the island, to the future of the island. Healthcare is critical. We have been making some significant investments in healthcare, but we realize we still have work to do. And equally, transportation is important. If we're going to grow the economy, grow tourism, get more business in, get more trade, we need to enhance our accessibility through the airport. So it's not a question of what is more important, it's a question of all being important. Schools being important, roads being important, water being important, electricity being important, airport, hospital, all of those are important as we try to build in a holistic way the infrastructure on the island of Nevis so that you and I and our children and our children's children could have the kind of Nevis that we all hope for and that they deserve. Let's go back to the phones and continue to take calls. Good evening, caller. You're on the mark.
Good night, Honorable Premier. How are you?
I am well, thank you. Good evening.
My name is Denise Smithson. I'm calling on behalf of the Department of Community Development to warmly invite everyone, the listening audience, to the upcoming Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival happening this Saturday, which is May 31st, at the Malcolm Gishan Recreational Park. The entry fee is only $5, and you can expect various country vendors booths where they will be showcasing their traditional foods, and we'll have cultural performances, cooking demonstrations. We also have a kids zone, a domino competition, watermelon eating competition, and there will be lots of prizes to win. The countries that you can expect will be, of course, none other than St. Kitts and Nevis, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, St. Lucia, Dominica, Philippines, Dominican Republic, China, and various African countries such as Botswana, Ghana, Cameroon, South Africa, Uganda, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Kenya, Zambia, Sierra Leone, and we also will have ITAL food as well. The entertainment would be, well, our host is DJ Woodis, and the entertainment will be by DJ Zimba, DJ Smudge, and we'll have a plethora of cultural performances. So you can expect a full day of fun, culture, and excitement. So I'm encouraging the listening audience to come on out this coming Saturday at the Malcolm Gishan Recreational Park. You don't want to miss it. And I just also want to speak about our domino competition, which will be a part of the event. And the cash prizes are for first place $500, second place $300, and the third place will receive $200. Registration fee is $10 per person, or for team up to $20. And the domino competition starts at 2 p.m. So I'm encouraging all the domino lovers, and if you feel like you have a great chance of winning, to come on out to the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival and try your luck at the domino competition as well.
So just remind me again, when is this festival happening?
This Saturday, so May 31st, at the Malcolm Gishan Recreational Park. It starts at 12 p.m.
And goes until when?
It goes until 8.
And I understand that you're going to have food from so many different countries. Yes. The intention I've gathered is to bring the disparate communities together. Nevis has become quite a cosmopolitan society with people from all around the world now being here. And so you want us to come out and sample some of their culture. Is that it?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, fantastic.
And so we have, so for example, for Jamaica, there will be ackee and saltfish, managed water, jerk chicken and jerk pork. For Trinidad, there will be the Trinidadian doubles, bacon shacks, and something called buff-up shots, which is like broken down roti. And so from different countries, you can expect different things to try, different foods to try. And so I'm asking you to come hungry because there will be lots of food to offer and lots of things for you to try.
And the admission again?
$5, and just for $5, you will be entered into a raffle where you will get a chance to win various prizes.
Okay. Now let me just understand. So I pay $5 to come in, and then I would also have to buy the food?
Yes.
Okay. So I will then be able to go around and purchase whatever I want to purchase?
Yes, you'll be able to go around and purchase whatever food.
Yes.
And we'll also have food, agro-processors, and various vendors who will be showcasing their art and crafts. So you will be able to purchase those as well. And we have a kids zone, so there will be face painting, bouncing castle, obstacle courses. We also have various games that are sponsored by Flow, so you will get a chance to win a top-up. So we have the stock race. We have some stock racing, and then we have watermelon eating competition. So if anybody loves watermelon and or think that they can win the stock race, you will get a chance to win a prize from Compliment Flow.
So it looks like you're really having a day for the entire family. And so everybody can come out. You can bring the kids. They're going to be safe. They have an opportunity to play and enjoy themselves while the adults sample all that's there. I'm particularly interested in some of the African countries that will be having their food as well, because I think many of us understand jerk and all of that. It's great, but we have tasted it before. But some of the African food, I think you mentioned countries like Botswana and Sierra Leone. I don't know what type of food they would make or how they would make it. So I think this is a fascinating idea. This is not the first time you're doing this.
No. So we had this event. It was held last year, dubbed the Nevis Heritage Festival.
Yes.
This year we decided to rebrand it completely and name it the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival, because the word multicultural encapsulates the multifaceted nature of our island. As we know, the community has evolved over the years, and we have people from so many walks of life, and we want our foreign nationals and people from other parts of the Caribbean and the world to feel welcome. We also wanted a community event that showcased and celebrated our various cultures and those persons who are living on the island of Nevis. So that was the goal of the Heritage Festival, and last year was really, really good, and I'm anticipating an even nicer event this year. We are excited to have our sponsors on board who would have contributed significantly to this event, and without them, this event would not be possible. So I just wanted to, if you can permit me to quickly highlight our sponsors.
Sure, absolutely.
We have Amri Bakery, Chills Beach Bar, RG Laws and Sons, Wally Beach Resort, Flow, Caribbean Lottery, Clifton Estate, CDC Group of Companies, and Nevis Community Development Steel Orchestra. And we are, as I said, we are excited, and this year will be really good, one for the books. And just for $5, you get so much to offer, and you get a chance to win a prize. So you can't beat that.
Okay, well, thank you very, very much for that. And thank you for all the hard work that you and your team are doing. Very impressed.
Thank you.
And we hope that this event is a resounding success.
Thank you, Honorable Premier. And one more nugget. The Retro Festival is coming up on June 21st, so mark your calendars for that as well, and look out on our department page for more information. Our department page is the Department of Community Development, Nevis. And thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. That was the head of our community affairs, and really telling us about an exciting project that they've embarked upon, bringing people together. I love the idea. I love the creativity, the innovation that we're seeing on the island of Nevis, that we have these young people in charge of various departments and ministries, and they're continually thinking, what can we do that's different? And so we in Nevis have now become multicultural. We are a mosaic of people from all across the Caribbean, all across the world, and these events are designed to bring people together. We are saying to those who live here, who've moved here, who are raising their families here, that we welcome you. That has always been our position as a government. We welcome you. We want you to feel that you're at home and to make your contribution, just as we, as Nivisians, have gone elsewhere and made our contribution. Let me go back to the phones. We have about 8 minutes left. Good evening, caller. You're on the mark.
Yeah, good evening again.
Yes, good evening.
You talk about the importance of the airport, the hospital, the road, the school, bad stream, all over. But I don't hear you talk about the importance of solid waste.
Well,
you forget that institution there?
I didn't,
that not cross your mind?
I didn't have a...
I don't hear you say nothing at all about solid waste.
I didn't have a...
I'm listening to half of your man.
Okay. Caller, well, thanks for adding solid waste. You're correct. I could also add agriculture. I could add fisheries. I could add so many things. I mean, they're all important. I did not have a long list in front of me. So if I missed something, I was just talking off the top of my head to just give you an idea that all aspects of our development, and that's what the word all means. When you say all, you mean everything that we are doing is important. It all connects one with each other. The Mondo track is important for sport. The different sporting grounds, the basketball courts, the tennis courts, the netball courts, they're all important. The water taxi. All of this is important for our overall development. That's the point that I was trying to make. So if I did not mention solid waste, please forgive me. It is not to suggest that solid waste is not important. It is very important because keeping the island clean is a critical part of having a clean, healthy, sustainable Nevis. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Good night, Honorable Brantley.
Good night to you, good night to you.
Your show is wonderful tonight.
Thank you.
Welcome forward. My scripture tonight is taken from Proverbs chapter 24, and I will be reading 8 verses. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. Through wisdom is an house builded, and by understanding it is established. And by knowledge shalt the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. A wise man is strong, yea, a man of knowledge increaseth strength. For by the wise counsel thou shalt make thy war, and in multitude of counselors there is safety. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the gate. He that deviseth to do evil shall be called a mischievous person. Here endeth the reading of the scripture. May the Lord add his richest blessing to it. And may God bless you and family. And you're doing a good job. Okay?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless you also, and thank you for your beautiful scripture and for your call. Ladies and gentlemen, we have by our clock 6 minutes left, and so we will continue to take your calls. I want to, of course, encourage one and all to go to the health and wellness fair that they're having right there at the Bath Hot Springs. That will be happening on Friday. They start with breakfast, so go early. From 6 a.m. they'll be serving breakfast. But we're going to have testing there for blood sugar, blood glucose. We have blood pressure testing. Make sure that you know your status, that you're in good health, and they're going to have yoga and Pilates and all of this happening there. Some runs, races. They're going to have an opportunity to win prizes. It's really a good event that's been organized, and you can soak in the bath for free. They are waiving all fees of the Bath stream on Friday. We also are going to have on Saturday at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park our multicultural, multi-heritage day, when we're bringing all the various nationalities on the island of Nevis together to cook their various foods and display their various national colors, and really just give us an opportunity to go out. So if you want to know what food from Sierra Leone tastes like, from Botswana, from Jamaica, from Trinidad, from right here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and from other parts all around the world. We ask you to go and to support. There's a lot happening on the island of Nevis, a lot of progress that people can see and feel and touch, and I want you to be a part of that. Let me go back to the phones and take some more calls. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Good evening, Mark.
Yes, good evening to you.
Listen, on the issue of the airport, you did sign a contract for the airport, right? Is that still valid?
What you mean I signed a contract for the airport?
With Patrick Jahi, you didn't sign a contract for the airport, to run the airport?
No, we have not signed any contract with Mr. Jahi. We are in discussions with Mr. Jahi about providing support, financial, on the airport. So we have not
in the picture no more because you and Drew going to supply the money, so he's out of the picture.
Caller, did you listen to me just now? I said to you that we have not signed a contract with Mr. Jahi. We are in discussions with Mr. Jahi about providing financing on one aspect of the airport. You understand that?
Yeah, one aspect. Okay. I tell you, we're going to be the company. Okay, well, just one aspect. That's the managing part, or just...
No, Mr. Jahi is providing the support to do what we are calling the airside aspects of the development. That is the runway, the lighting, the reinforcement of the existing runway, the fuel farm, things of that nature.
But this thing over here, you're supposed to run it for 7 years and then 7 years plus. That's not in the work as a modern.
As I said to you, we have not signed an agreement. We are negotiating. Once those negotiations are over, as consistent with my approach as a Premier of Nevis, I will come to the people of Nevis and let them know that this is what we have negotiated. We have not yet finalized any arrangement with Mr. Jahi.
So which one comes first, Drew or he?
How Dr. Drew get into this? I tell you already, you're not listening. No,
he said you have support with the airport.
Dr. Drew has come in relation to a guarantee for a loan for the purchase of the lands that will be used for the airport.
Oh, okay.
That has been explained over and over, time and time again, by him and by me.
Well, you got a job to explain. You come every night and you bang, you just personal attack on these people instead of telling us the issue.
What
the trip you went on.
But caller, if tonight is an example, it doesn't matter how much I talk because some people just can't understand.
No, you have a job to do. You're the leader.
But caller, I'm trying to do my job, but if I tell you 1 + 1 is equal to 2, and you keep asking me about 6, then it means that you're not understanding or you're not listening what I'm telling you. So I'm trying my best. You ask a question.
Are you listening? All you have to do is make it simple and done with it. You're making about you're not listening.
But caller, how much more simple you want me to tell you? You want me to tell you see spot run? I am trying to explain the thing in standard English that you and I could understand each other, and you're either not listening or you're not understanding.
Okay. You want better $1 million? You sign a contract for the airport already?
Caller, thank you and have a good night. The show has come to an end.
Run from that one, though.
Well, it's not a question of running, caller. You've called in and you're obviously not interested in hearing what is happening, and you're not interested in hearing the truth. Right? So you've called in and you're talking rubbish about not giving people information. Well, what's the value of giving you information if you don't want to listen to the information? So a lot of you who making noise and talking about you all want information when the information is in front of you. I have nothing to hide, caller. The business of Nevis is not my personal business. I have been very straightforward. The member opposite came in the house recently and asked about the airport, and I answered in the house. So why is there a perception that I have something to hide? I don't have anything to hide. I have said to you that we have not yet concluded any agreement with Mr. Jahi. We are negotiating a position where he will assist in a significant way on part of the development that is proposed. Well, good God, what is so hard about that to understand? If I tell you see spot run and you don't understand see spot run, well, that is not my fault, that's your fault. That's why we have school, you go to get an appreciation of how to read, write, and comprehend. I find too many people in this island just listen to respond. They don't listen to understand. And a lot of us could read and write, but we can't comprehend. So caller, work on the comprehension so that the next time you call, you and I could understand each other. Because I felt for a moment here that I was speaking English, but you were speaking Spanish. And you don't speak Spanish. Okay? That's our show for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very grateful to all of those who called, all of those who kept the show lively. We understand the value of engagement. That's why we have shows like this. That's why we have open lines. That's why on this show and this leader you will never hear that there will be no calls because we don't want to muddy the waters. Fundamental difference in approach. Whether you agree with me or not, I believe in democracy, I believe in freedom of speech, and I believe that we should have an opportunity to speak with each other. That is important. That's our show. The banner struck up. It means I have to go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. This show is rebroadcast tomorrow at 1 p.m. right here on Vaughan Radio. Good night and God bless you.
Views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Nevis Broadcasting Company Limited or its advertisers.
With all the power from the tower, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, VON Radio, from the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.